National security sounds like headwork for politicians, but it's actually about the health of our soil. It's the strength of the mycorrhizal networks, the families and neighbors who are willing to do the hard work of looking out for one another. When the roots of a community are deep and connected, the whole forest is secure. I'm Nick Walton. I'm a coffee roaster, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a wee little farmer, and I can't stop thinking about the invisible scripts that run our lives. You're listening to The Values Sort. This is a field guide to the values that shape the patterns of thinking and behaviors that end up shaping our entire lives. This is essay number 52, National Security. Let's get into it. Now, I grew up American, all the way American. I know all the songs. I know the old ones, like our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. And you're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. But I also know some newer ones, too, like the post-9/11 Toby Keith classic, Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue. This song is also colloquially known as The Angry American. Perhaps my favorite lines of the tune are, Justice will be served and the battle will rage. This big dog will fight when you rattle his cage. And you'll be sorry that you messed with the US of A. 'Cause we'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. There's a kind of perfection of toxicity in those lines that got hammered hard when I was young and teases it amusing today. We'll put a boot in your ass. Is that the American way? Is that your way? Alan Jackson sang, I'm just a singer of simple songs. I'm not a real political man. I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell you the difference in Iraq and Iran. But I know Jesus, and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things he gave us, and the greatest is love. Now, Alan Jackson is singing kinder words for sure, but I do think perhaps all of us could have spent a little more time learning the difference in Iraq and Iran. Faith, hope, and love. I am an American. I travel with an American passport, and I consistently pay my taxes. This has presented more and more conscientious challenges for me as I've gotten older, and I think if we're honest, it presents them for many of us. We border on sociopathy if we hide our eyes and our minds from the American way of putting boots in asses. And listen, I was there. I remember 9/11. I was young, but I was awake. I was living with my grandmother at the time because I was awesome. My friend was quietly staying there with me because he was also awesome. We both came downstairs that morning, and my grandmother was weeping in her armchair, sitting not comfortably back into her chair, as was her way, but perched up on the edge, hoping that she wasn't seeing what she was seeing. We watched the coverage of the first tower, and then we watched live as the second was hit. The loss of life was senseless. The cruelty was on display in a way we'd never experienced in this country. Except, we do know our way around cruelty, right? Approximately 13 million Africans were shipped like cargo across the Atlantic Ocean. An estimated 10.8 million actually survived the journey. Of those, most were landed and enslaved in the Caribbean and in South America, with a comparatively small percentage making it to North America proper. But statistically, all of them were bought, sold, and traded by people that look like me. That's just what's real. Our whole society is built on globalized poverty. Those systems were institutionalized and propped up with enslaved people. Sugar and rum and tobacco to feed our insatiable appetite for vice brought in from the Caribbean. Importantly, the slave trade didn't end there. In 1808, after we outlawed the international slave trade, partly to clean up our act, thanks Quakers, partly to present ourselves as more virtuous than we had any right to on the international community, but mostly to protect the economic interests of southern plantation owners, a robust internal slave trade took root, displacing families and individuals at an unprecedented scope and scale. God damn it. Damn it all to hell. Slavery has been a part of human history for millennia, but we, white Europeans and Americans, perfected this most barbaric, treacherous evil. Nobody enslaves like we enslaved. Also, I skipped past the atrocities committed against the people living here before Europeans began arriving in force. Forced displacements and starvations literally designed to eradicate in the name of our Lord. The card says, protection of my nation from enemies. I have seen the enemy, you guys, and it's us. It's me. It's my fathers and theirs. What is our response? What is the big white traditionally Christian guy's response to such heinous history, to such ugliness? I must protect my nation. I want to protect my nation, and the only way I can do that, the most subversive act that I can think of, is making room on the bench for others. It's using my girth, as I've said before, to hold the door open for others. It won't end up being apologizing, though that probably couldn't hurt. It will be demanding equality, loudly if necessary. Only then will it be a brighter tomorrow. We cannot blot out the stain of the past, and our past is filthy and stained. Don't listen to anyone still peddling American exceptionalism, still peddling manifest destiny. Get your head right. It's not about a guilt trip. That's what they want to make it. They want to say that the blacks and the browns are pissed off and they want the whites to prostrate themselves before them. They're coming to get us. But it's not about that. It's about a brighter, better, co-equal, loving, caring, generous future that considers everyone and leaves no one behind. Look, I'm happy to be an American. I love my lovely valley and my mountains high. I love many cultural aspects of America. I love the ingenuity that has been shown by the people here from time immemorial. How else could the first Americans, the ones who knew the place before there were roads or bridges or pubs or muskets or AR-15s or horseless carriages or Christianity, how could they survive and thrive as they have? Ingenuity, constant personal reinvention, admirable qualities that we could all aspire to. I'm not advocating for anyone to go home. Europe wouldn't know what to do with our Chick-fil-A's and our Ford F-650s. We're all Americans now. The least we can do is all be Americans. I will end this essay with the entire text of Emma Lazarus' consummate piece of Americana, The New Colossus. May we read it over and over until it's burned into our souls, and for once in our history, may it be true for us. Now you listen. I'm going to read it, and I mean it. You listen. I'm going to read it twice. Don't skip this ending. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with torch whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, the tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.